What's up, little leprechauns of metal? Welcome to Forgemaster Metal Reviews. This is the place where you get the most out of your metal.
Hope you all are having a killer Wednesday. It's time to round up the best metal albums from February that we missed. We are listening to you guys. We got a ton of comments, and not surprised we missed a few of these excellent albums. What are your favorite picks of the month? Leave them down in the comments, and while you're doing that, smash the like button and hit subscribe if you're new.
While you're looking for your pot of gold, let's look into the best albums that we missed from February.
Zeal and Ardor, self-titled, released on February 11th. Everyone knew that this album was going to be special, especially with the waves that this band has been making in the metal scene. Mixing blues and gospel with black metal, Zeal and Ardor have made some serious movements in the metal scene, not only with their approach to metal, but also their socio-political opinions as well. Weirdly, though, this band has been not seeing the numbers, on streaming and YouTube that we would expect, and I'm not completely sold on why. So do you have some thoughts on that? Leave comments down below. We did a stream recently with Metal Trenches where we kind of commented on these things, so check that out too. The link will be down in the comments. But aside from that, goddamn is this album powerful, unexpected, and completely motivating to me as a musician to push those artistic boundaries further than ever before. There are so many contrasting sounds on this record that still feel cohesive, and it blows my mind that the band puts them all together in the first place and makes it work. I do think that some of the songs do feel a tad long, but this new endeavor is one of their best, if not the best of their catalog. I'm gonna give this one 4.3 out of 5 Baphomet Blues.
Voivod, Synchro, Anarchy is my first pick. I gotta say, I was not expecting to like this record so much. While I haven't revisited it a ton, I've really been on I gotta listen to all this new stuff spree. It's just the way it is right now. This album definitely left an impression on me. There's a lot of surprises on Synchro, Anarchy, musically, lyrically. The band rides the rails the entire album, strapping you onto the roof of their post-apocalyptic hot rod and doing burnouts in the middle of a dystopian parking lot. I've heard other Voivod records, but they didn't really stick with me. This one really did. It's got to be some of the best progressive, post-punk, thrash metal, whatever you want to call it, I've ever heard. 4.7 out of 5 Planet Eaters.
It's funny. I wasn't expecting for this one to be one of their best in their whole catalog, and it totally is. So
yeah.
My second pick is Ard, Take Up My Bones, released February 18th. Described as Northumbrian monastic doom metal, it's fairly rare when a metal album grabs me as intensely as Take Up My Bones by Ard did. It's sad to admit that in 2021, though, it was a bit slow of a year in terms of doom. And to be honest, this album alone made up for that wait for those pristine, slow, and somber tones throughout this record. History buffs take note here. This is a project of Mark Deeks of Winterfilleth, who is also a music director, arranger, composer, author, and PhD philosopher. This project explores the relics of Northumbrian Saint Cuthbert, who lived in 638 to 687 AD. And I've never heard a doom album that sounds so niche yet so accessible and on the nose like this record is. The riffs and compositions heavily remind me of early My Dying Bride works, with one fantastic addition, and that is massive sounding male choir chanting vocals. A wonderfully powerful and beautifully gloomy album that I absolutely needed this year. Get lost in this record if you love the slow stuff. You'll thank us later. 4.8 out of 5 Morning Monks.
Dude, you nailed the score and you nailed the description of this record. I love the details and just the sheer passion behind the music, behind the story. This is an album of the year contender, hands down. So you were probably all like, hey, Ben, you talk a big game about Cult of Luna, so where are they? Well, friend, they're right here. That's right. The Long Road North is taking up its spot here for the awards ceremony. Best post-sludge album of the year so far? The Long Road North. Most cinematic sounding album of the year so far? The Long Road North. Cult of Luna's best album? Quite possibly The Long Road North. Maybe, but I would say definitely in their top 3. See where I'm going with this? Sweden's Cult of Luna has been a long-time favorite of mine, and it's been wild to be observing them at a time that they really may be at the paramount of their career. That really says something because I can't think of a single album from them that is below average. The Long Road North is an incredible follow-up to A Dawn to Fear and The Raging River. This band has been on an absolute tear since joining Metal Blade. If you want to experience a cold, dreadful cinematic blend of post-hardcore, sludge, and doom, jump into the icy waters that flank The Long Road North. 4.6 out of 5 Frozen Highways.
Totally agree with your score here, man. Killer album. My next pick here is Corpsegrinder, self-titled, released February 24th. I think too many people are getting wrapped around the axle of why Corpsegrinder made this album in the first place if Cannibal Corpse exists. This album is not Cannibal Corpse. Who the hell cares? This still rips faces off in the best way. We love Cannibal Corpse here at Forgemaster, but we also love when artists go their own way and explore material on their own, and that is apparent in spades here on this record. The album is not only excessive in its brutality, it's a complete blast to listen to. It's a 10-track record clocking in just over 30 minutes. This is no holds barred, in-your-face death metal that stays strong throughout the entire runtime. Corpsegrinder is honestly a ridiculously solid record that surprised the hell out of me. I went in thinking this is going to be sort of tongue-in-cheek and kind of laughable, and left as, holy shit, this is one of the best metal albums of February. Lots of great hooks, even some sprinkled doom riffs, and with the early Floridian death metal style, you really can't go wrong here. Don't be a hater, get on board and grind some corpses. 4.2 out of 5 Body Slam Zombies.
Finnish melodic doomsters Shape of Despair are survivors. And why do I say that? Well, I think there are very few melodic doom bands from that era that have really managed to stay active. But those that have are just powerhouses. Besides Shape of Despair, we have acts like Hanging Garden, Swallow the Sun, Skepticism, Depressed Mode. If you're about this scene, then you know that these bands have been either moderately to super influential, depending on who you ask. The latest Shape of Despair record, Return to the Void, is exactly what it sounds, an exploration of fear, sorrow, and spiritual, emotional pain. Much more down-tempo than their other bands like Rapture or Counting Hours, this Finnish crew went for pure fucking misery. The atmosphere on this record displays flickers of hope as you trudge through the barren swamps of sorrow. The contrast that they create on this record is absolutely what this genre needs to stay engaging, and they do it phenomenally. Doom musicians, take note. I'm really looking forward to getting through my to listen to list so I can revisit this one and Ard a few more times before the winter breaks up here in New England. Return to the Void is an absolutely haunting record. 4.7 out of 5 faint existences.
We complained a bunch about how 2021 didn't have great Doom releases, and 2022 started off super fucking strong with Shape of Despair as well as Ard. So, awesome. My last pick here is Allegaeon, Damnum, released February 25th. Man, what a ride of a record. For those of you new to Allegaeon, they are an absurdly talented and honestly kind of underappreciated technical death metal band that leads into emotional territory with their songwriting. Sure, I think that's where the divisiveness comes in here because the tech death camp typically doesn't want anything frilly, but you guys can get the fuck out of here, to be honest. Riley McShane's clean vocals, I'd argue, save this band from falling into another run-of-the-mill tech death band, and it helps them stand out immensely in a lot of ways. Sure, you've still got these superbly crafted death growls and blackened shrieks, but the varied vocals with massively dynamic instrumentation truly make Damnum shine above other metal albums that have come out so far in 2022. How many tech death bands have earworm choruses and acoustic acoustic / flamenco style riffs that are executed this pristinely, not a lot. In fact, I think this is pretty much the only one. So there you go. There's a reason these dudes found a home on Metal Blade. They absolutely deserve it. They're crushing it and still growing, so check them out. 4.2 out of 5 Necromancer study rooms.
My final pick for today is Kurokuma's debut record, Born of Obsidian. This UK-based band has dropped one of the more unique death doom records from this year. The band approaches the psychedelic doom death genre with a lot of confidence, which is no surprise, really, seeing as how the band has been actively fleshing out their music since 2014, with a variety of EPs, singles, and splits. Simply based on the album art and song titles alone, you know that Born of Obsidian draws on a lot of influence from ancient cultures. While there's no mention of particulars that I could see musically, there seemed to be a lot of influence from the Central and South American themes. Think of Sepultura if they were like a death doom band. It's pretty cool. I require my death doom to be interesting and engaging, and Kurokuma definitely gets high marks on both of these categories. Overall, Born of Obsidian is a really unique record in this subgenre, so I'm giving it 4.2 out of 5 Ancient Gods of Stone. And what were your favorite records from February? Leave those links, and if you haven't yet, snap the neck of the like button and subscribe if you're new.
Go with the gods, Forgemasters. Remember to practice your safety around the acid vats. See you guys next time.